Okay, this is a general oracle card reading for Virgos for the month of November. And sorry, my bad that I've been saying tarot cards. I thought all the decks of cards were called tarot cards. They just had different names. Only for me to find out really quite recently that they're not all called tarot cards. That tarot card is a specific deck, and that what I have is oracle cards. Okay, so yeah, I'm doing a general oracle card reading for the Virgos for the month of November. So here we go. God, Goddess, Jesus, angels, please guide the Virgos to what message you would like them to receive for the month of November 2018. Amen. Okay, I forgot to light my candles, so let me do that real quick. Oh, come on. Didn't light. Come on now. Light up. There we go. I've heard lighting a candle gives good energy, so that's why I'm lighting it. Yay. Virgos, November 2018. Virgos, November 2018. Virgos, November 2018. Virgos, November 2018. Okay, now I'm going to separate the cards from the ones that popped up from the ones that didn't. And I have like 31 minutes left on this thing, so I'm going to try to be as quick as I can. Yeah. The phone only lets me have a certain amount of time to record, and I just got done with Leo, so yeah, only got 31 minutes left. Come on now. Oops. Okay, good. I didn't miss any of it. Alright. Start from this side. Okay. The resting tree, patient stillness. That just means be like a tree. Be patient. Trust what you need will come to you. Kind of like a tree in nature. You don't ever see them yelling and screaming that they're worried about they're not going to get what they need or want, like sunlight and water. That would be quite freakish if a tree did that, though, wouldn't it? Oh, hi, Babushka. My kitty. You know, it also can mean, like, you know, that there's nothing you have to do to be good enough. You know, sometimes we wonder if the universe is denying us what we want or need because we're not good enough or we didn't do it right enough. It just means that there is nothing that you have to do to be good enough. You're already good enough. Just be patient and still, that what you need will come to you. And I understand that feeling of not feeling like you're good enough. Like, I go through stages like that too. Like, I definitely would say I experience it right now. So, I know how you feel. I'm not a Virgo, though. I'm a Taurus, but that doesn't mean that, you know, different signs can't experience the same thing. Of course we do. We're all people. We're all human. We all go through it then. But yeah, that's pretty much what that card means, is that there's nothing you have to do to be good enough. You know, just be patient still. Trust what you need will come to you. And if you scream and fuss, unlike what trees can't do, I won't judge you because I know how you feel. The Lady of the Gift, generosity, receiving, withholding. That just means that you may be having people in your life that withhold the gift of opportunity or dignity and respect to you. Basically, people that are not very nice and they don't benefit you in any way then. You know, so in a sense, you're withholding the gift from you because you're allowing these people to be in your life. And the card just pretty much means time to stop withholding this gift from you. It's time to set boundaries with people like this. And if they can't stay in your life, so be it. Fuck them. Let them out. Let them leave. You know, but those that really care about you, they'll respect those boundaries, you know, because some people, it's not about them being a bad person. It's just about they haven't had any boundaries with you because you never gave any. So, you know, just, I would suggest set boundaries. Don't assume that they're all nasty. Because the ones that are nasty, they'll leave. They'll kick themselves out. Narcissists don't like being around where there's boundaries or where people have some backbone or stand up for themselves. So, time to just stop withholding the gift from yourself. Start maybe setting boundaries. Stop allowing these people in your life. Start allowing people in your life that do give you dignity, respect, and opportunities. And I don't know why, the feeling of opportunities in there, like there's an opportunity you want, you know? So basically, go search out the right people or atmosphere or whatever it is that you need to make that opportunity happen. You know, stop withholding the gift from yourself. I know that sometimes it's hard to hear because, you know, we're trying to live the best we can, and sometimes we don't understand how we're withholding the gift from ourselves. Um, I don't know, just do some soul searching, maybe even some research if it's an opportunity that you're wanting. You know, learn what you can to create that opportunity, and if it's just people withholding the gift from you, then start to change what kind of people you hang around. Maybe even set boundaries, because sometimes not everybody's bad, they just haven't had any boundaries set by you. So, you know, you'll figure out who the nasty ones are real quickly, because they'll kick themselves out. They'll leave. Okay, the Swan Queen, transformation, intuition, patience. It just means be patient in your transformation. Maybe you're already in the process of transforming, and maybe you are trying to transform. I'm kind of picking up on that right now, that some of you are trying to. Some of you haven't quite made it there yet. But trying to is part of the transformation. You know, changing yourself and whatnot. So just stay in there and keep patient. You are working through it. You will have your transformation complete. Whatever inner work you're working on, it will be complete. You'll get through this. Just have patience and give yourself time. Don't make yourself feel like you have to do this right now and move really, really fast. Because sometimes you're missing the point or the lesson when you do that. So just take your time, be patient, be chill. Enjoy the ride, honestly. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the time you're having. You know, just keep at the good work of what you're doing too, though, because your transformation will be complete. Just be patient. The Ice Queen, ideas preserved, non-action entitlement. Now this card, I usually think of three things. There's a sleeping girl there, so I think of ideas preserved, old dead ideas, like they're not good thoughts, non-action, not moving forward ideas, things that do not move you forward. You know, and if you're egotistical, there's where the entitlement part comes in. You feel entitled. And if you don't feel entitled, then likely you're one of those people that tell yourself you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you can't do this. You know, and that also is an old dead idea that you need to let go of. And then there's the owl there. And I think of ideas preserved, ideas that you need to preserve. Like, I'm good enough, I'm worthy. Entitlement, to understand you are entitled, you are worthy, you are good enough. And sometimes I acknowledge the part there, the woman there with the owl, as somebody who is asleep spiritually or in their maturity, that is soon to awaken to the owl, the wisdom. You know, to stop with those old dead ideas and stop with the lack of spiritual maturity, and start to awaken to wisdom and start to awaken spiritually, start to awaken in their maturity. So that's kind of how I see the card. Pretty much just take what resonates from that point on. As you know, not all Virgos are the same. You know, just like not one sign in the zodiac is all positive people, and not one sign in the zodiac is all negative people. They may all share somewhat the same energy, but they're not all the same person. So, you know, there's negative and positive people in each sign. You know, so do keep in mind then, take what resonates with you. You know, if you're the one that's asleep, it's time to awaken to wisdom. It's time to start believing in yourself. It's time to let go of the ego and realize you're not entitled. You know, you're as entitled as everybody else, and if everyone else is not entitled, neither are you. You know, it doesn't mean that, I mean, never mind. I think you get it. If you're egotistical, you probably know what you need to work on. I probably don't need to go too much into that, but you get it. It's time to awaken to your owl, to your wisdom, to guide you. The Lady of the Mirror, reflection, non-judgment. That just means you may have said something or done something, or maybe you're about to do something, but to reflect on these actions or thoughts or decision you've made or action you have taken, or are going to take, or you are going to say, reflect on it without judgment, which means to, just reflect, think it over, think it through. And if it involves another person, and it's not just you, then also think of it without judgment upon the other person. I'm really getting a strong feeling, though, like it's not something you have done yet, but it is something you are thinking about doing or saying. Which is really weird, because usually I pull out that card and I get the feeling it's already been done. This is like the first time I ever felt like it hasn't been done yet, but there is something you're thinking about saying or doing. And you should reflect without judgment, though, like reflect without being angry for yourself or the feelings you have or the thoughts you have. Reflect also if it involves another person without being angry at them either, because then you're having a biased opinion and not a clear judgment on that, and you don't want to do that. You want to reflect without judgment, like think about, if I say this, will my point get across? If I say this, will this hurt the other person's feelings, and maybe they'll shut me out from actually listening from what I'm trying to reflect. And what I'm trying to tell them, I mean. And is this necessary for me to say, is it worth potentially losing a friendship, a family member, or a partner over? I don't know, I'm kind of getting a really big feeling like this is kind of deep, like this is something you really want to reflect on, because it could end a very good connection there. So yeah, I definitely would encourage, think it through very deep in thought. Is this worth saying? Is this worth doing? Think very carefully what you're going to say or do. Because you don't want to ruin your friendships. You don't want to ruin your connection to your family. You don't want to ruin the connection to your lover. And speaking of lover, for all I know, it's a breakup you're thinking about doing. How do you bring that about without breaking them to the point that you end up not even friends in the end? I mean, naturally, if it's a breakup, it's going to be at least a little bit of heartbreak, but it doesn't mean you have to break up your friendship. So I don't know, I'm just feeling like something saying to be very, very, very careful. Think it through very carefully. Think about the other person's feelings and thoughts when you're doing this as well. And yes, think about your own feelings and thoughts as well, and how to project those feelings and thoughts to help the other person understand. And also, that being said, thinking about your own feelings and thoughts, think about, is it even necessary to project them? Like, let's just put it this way. This might be a bad example, but kind of like when you're a woman, you got that time of the month, you might say things you end up regretting later. That is a time you might really want to reflect before you say something. Pretty much I'm saying, like, maybe it's emotions that are temporary. Maybe you just felt hurt for the moment, and maybe you took something too seriously. Maybe you took something out of context. And if that's the case, you do want to talk with the other person. Okay. And, find out if they meant it that way, or let them know that hurts your feelings. But either way, just think it very carefully through before you go projecting your thoughts and emotions, or if you even do so, think about it, if it's even necessary or a good idea. Yeah, I just kind of feel like there's something you're thinking about doing or saying, and it's quite serious. So please, really just take as much time as you need to ponder on this and think about it, because what you do or say could be quite impactful on your life, positive or negative. I mean, so be very, very careful and think it through. The Lady of the Lightning, surprise, sometimes shock, paradigm shift. Total paradigm shift. Just one more thing before I get onto this card. Another thing, maybe, I don't know why, so it came to my mind, like maybe somebody's thinking about getting pregnant. Maybe you're thinking about getting pregnant or having a baby. That definitely would take some serious thought. So maybe it's not even a positive or negative thing. It's just somebody's going to impact your life big time, like having a kid. Okay, I'll get on to the next card now, as I was saying. This card right here just means that something will come in your life or happen, that it's just going to surprise you and shock you in kind of an wonder of awe. Like, whoa, I didn't see this coming. Hang on. And that could be emotionally, mentally, spiritually, or even manifesting physically. You know, and I'm not really picking up on a big, strong feeling whether it's any of the sort. So it could be any of the sort for any of you. Like, for some of you, it could be spiritually, for some of you, it could be mentally, and for some, emotionally, and some, it could be a physical manifestation. So, you know, you could learn something about yourself that surprises you. You could learn a new lesson, that you'll find something about a strength you didn't know you had. And you could end up just getting a surprise in life. Like, I don't know, maybe you get a new car, maybe you do get pregnant, maybe you, I mean, it could just be, you could get a raise. It could just be anything that surprises you and shocks you, but I do feel more like it's pleasant, so I wouldn't worry too much about whatever the shock is. I lean more towards, when I see that card, is something more pleasant, so don't worry too much on it. Just be happy about whatever it is, I guess. The Eagle King, the big picture, angelic help. That just means you do have your angels giving you guidance. They are here to help you. And if you don't believe in angels, then replace it with the spiritual deity or being that you do believe in, like God, Goddess, higher self, your ancestors, fairies, extraterrestrials, Buddha, whatever it is that you believe in. Just replace it with that and know that they are there guiding you. They see a bigger picture here in your benefit. Trust in their guidance and helping you. The High Lord of gratitude and service, selfishness, humility, conscious action. That just means that you are getting in tune with your higher self, or a better version of yourself that you want to be. Like the card says, selfishness and humility. I like to try to replace that word with selfishness with another word, which would be self-respect and love. You know, a lot of people have a difficult time saying, I deserve better than that, you know, or I don't deserve that attitude, or I deserve a raise, or, you know, they just don't have the, they don't know they deserve better, or they're scared that they deserve better. They feel and are afraid that it's selfish for them to demand more to be given to them, or to expect more of people. So pretty much the card just means to know when to be more demanding, you know, when to have that so-called selfish moment, and when to be humble, when to have humility, you know, when to apologize. Because you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So I don't look at the higher self like it's perfect either. A better version of yourself. It just means you're learning to balance that selfishness and that humility. To be a better version of yourself. To know, you know, consciously which one you should do at what time. You know, what's necessary. You know, because sometimes it is selfish to demand more, you know, instead of humble yourself and realize that, you know, you didn't put the work and effort into it. You don't deserve better than that. And sometimes it's okay to have that selfish kind of attitude and be like, I did put the work and effort into it. I deserve better than this. So you might just be getting in tune with your higher self, or working on being a better version of yourself. You know, like how everybody wants to better themselves, or they want to be a better person. Pretty much that's what that card is. You trying to be a better person. Trying to better yourself. Okay, the Phoenix, resurrection, surrender to change. That just means to surrender to change. Maybe you're already aware of that, what that change needs to be. And if you're not aware, I would trying out some change and trying out some things and seeing what works, what benefits you, and what doesn't. You know, just to find out what change that is to surrender to. You know, when you're working at something for a while and nothing's changing, it's time to make a change then, because clearly whatever you're doing isn't giving you the benefit of what you want to have. And that's when you need to change things. Because if there's something you're wanting and there's a goal you've set and you want to achieve it, sometimes you got to make changes. Because if the attitude you're having isn't achieving that goal, it's time to change the attitude. If the behavior you're having isn't getting you to that goal, it's time to change it. If the whatever it is that you're doing, actions you're taking, or words that you're saying is not achieving the goal that you want to have, then it's time to change it. And I know sometimes we can be a little stubborn or scared of change because we're we don't know what it'll do or if it'll benefit us or how it'll benefit us. But it says surrender to the change because that's going to benefit you. So surrender to it. Whatever change it is that's on your mind that you can already feel and you know about, surrender to it. And maybe you're a little more stubborn, and that's kind of what I'm picking up. Like some of you out there, just to be honest and blunt, you're stubborn. You want to stick to your ways, you want to stick to your old ways and keep going in the pattern that you've been going in, but it's not achieving the goal you want, so it's time to make a change. And that's why I say, try out some things, dabble in some things, because maybe you're not aware of what that change is. It's going to help. So just dabble in some things and see what helps and what works for you. And I'm sure you'll figure out what will benefit you a little more, and you'll know what change to go after at that moment. And also take in mind that this is the Phoenix, and Phoenix is when you let something die and let a new, fresh life, a healthy life begin. So, yeah, remember that. This is a good change. It is to benefit you. It's to give you a new life. It's to give you a fresh start. Surrender to it and don't be afraid. Don't have any fear. And for the very few, don't be stubborn. I know it can be hard, but you can do this. Okay, and now if you enjoyed the reading, that's good. If you do not, I will flash the cards and let you use your own intuition, what you feel or think they mean. Because I know there's a lot of psychics out there that act like you need them or you just can't live on without them. I'm not going to do that. You don't need me. I'm helpful. I'm damn good at what I do, but you don't need me. Also, I know some psychics would like to say that they're 100% accurate. I think we all know that ain't true. Because no person or human being ever is like 100% accurate about anything. They're wrong about some things. Even if it's just a few things, they're wrong about some things. It's the same with us psychics. We're human beings. We're going to be wrong about something. And I do suggest that if you have a psychic acting like you need them, or are claiming they're 100% accurate, to just avoid them, because they're not going to give you a very good reading, or they're going to use you to take all the money they can from you, like when they're acting like you need them. I'm like, that's a scam artist right there. But you don't need me. I'm not going to ever pretend like you ever need me. And the ones that pretend they're 100% accurate, some of them actually believe they are. So when you tell them that they're not right, like even on like one thing in the reading, if you tell them that they're not right on that one area, they get into a hissy. I mean, they could get darn near into a tantrum. So it's not a healthy environment or a healthy minded person to get a reading from, because they can't even take the honest truth that they weren't 100% accurate, so that they can rechannel that energy, redirect it, and maybe correct it. But if you got a psychic that doesn't pretend you need them, or is honest with you about them not being 100% accurate, that's a good psychic, because they're not going to use you. And secondly, they could take correction to where they can actually rechannel the energy, redirect it, and perhaps give you a better reading. So, yeah, I just want to keep sharing that when I do these videos, because too many people get scammed, and it's just sad, man. And, when some people, they get so codependent on their psychic that they can't even barely breathe without their psychic, and it's like, dude, life goes on. Even if your psychic were to disappear, life will go on. You really don't need us. We're helpful to have around, but you don't need us. Everything will be okay, okay? Kind of like this general oracle card reading. It was helpful to maybe know what would come ahead, but you don't actually need it. Either way, you're going to have to face what comes ahead, and you're going to have to face it the best way you can. And so that's why I say, I'm helpful, but I'm not needed. You don't need me. I'm not, like, necessary. Like, chocolate's more necessary than me. I mean, that stuff is delicious. Come on. So Sorry, just cracking a little joke. But okay. Virgos, you have a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening whenever you're watching this, and goodbye now.